sidewall's sure being tested. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Preston. Today I'm taking these brand new BFGoodrich HD terrain tires out for its first off-road test. I'm going to be heading out to Hidden Falls Adventure Park, and I cannot wait to get these things out in the dirt, out in the rocks, see how they do, get them aired down, really test them out. I feel like I'm taking kind of a gamble here. I've never had a tire that was like this for off-roading. It's it's a new tire, relatively new tire. It's designed for heavy duty trucks, and it's supposed to be kind of a hybrid mix of on-road characteristics, long lasting, has some on-road or wet weather traction, but also can handle anything you can dish at it in the rocks, off-road. I figured this would be an ideal tire for the 2022 Ram Power Wagon that I own. If you saw my last video, I just went over a review of the previous tires I had on here, the BFGoodrich Mud Terrain KM3s, that I got over 50,000 miles on between two vehicles, this one and my Jeep Rubicon 392 that I used to own. That was actually pretty incredible that they went that many miles, but I think it was time to get a more suitable tire for this truck, and I'm hoping these HD terrains do the trick. Another thing, those tires were giving me, I think it was attributed to the tires, but I was getting kind of a vibration in my steering wheel between around 59 miles per hour to 63 to 67 miles per hour. And it's kind of a shaking in the wheel, but also in the body. And as I would rotate my tires, I would notice it. Sometimes it would get worse. And I think as I rotated them to the back, so I think I did have some uneven wearing. I had some cupping on the KM3s, albeit very minor, but I think that was contributing to that shaking. So I was really hopeful that these tires would remedy that completely, but that hasn't been the case. I'm still seeing some vibrations. I don't know if you can see it here, but my steering wheel is shimmying. I'm right at 58 miles per hour. It kind of does it varies. It's mainly between like 55 to 67 miles per hour. You go under that speed, look, it's straight as it's smooth as can be. But the main goal of today is to just finally take these tires out off-road, see how it performs, see how it does overall. I mean, other than the vibration, they're smooth as can be. It drives really nice. The truck drives really nice. I'm really happy with them so far. I like the way they look. They look very aggressive. I'm thinking for the most part they'll perform as good as the BFG KM3s off-road, and as good or not better, hopefully better on the road. And so far that seems to be the case. ashes. I know what you're thinking. This guy's got to be the most unhealthy eating mofo out there. Just so quick and convenient and good. Easy to clean up. All right, camp is all packed up. Gonna hit the trails here at Hidden Falls. I just met one of my favorite overlanders today. Jordan over at BFM Overland happened to be camped basically next door to my camp. I was pretty shocked. It was pretty cool. If you haven't seen his channel, go check out BFM Overland. He's got some really cool content over there, and I was just tickled that he happened to be right here the same night, pretty much the same campsite. Gotta figure out where I'm going here. Going the wrong way. Just makes you realize what a small world it really is. Hopefully get to meet up with him on a future outing. That'd be really cool. All right, so BFG HD terrain tires. I aired them down. Running about mid-20s. I didn't want to go too low. Not sure how these are. I mean, they already look like they were squishing or flexing pretty badly at mid-20s, so I stopped it there. I learned that these were originally designed for the mining industry, or with mining vehicles that drive up to mining sites. I mean, they spend a lot of time off pavement, go through a lot of use and abuse, but now they've kind of made them pretty much for anybody. I even saw a guy that was using these on his Jeep Gladiator a few weeks ago, and he had nothing but good things to say about the tire. He said he was one of the first people to have or to order a set of those, at least in the San Antonio area. So pretty excited to see what these things can do. All right, shifting into 4-low, locking the axles, making sure the sway bars disconnect. If you've seen this, you know this is one of my favorite obstacles out here. Not just favorite, but I've taken a whole lot of different vehicles on this obstacle, so it's really cool to gauge how they all do based on how they all climb this obstacle. So here we go. It's pretty steep, not the hardest ledge in the world to get up, but it is slick, and if it's loose enough that you fall off your line pretty easy. Locker's still not engaging, but As we've seen in the past, it engages once we engage the obstacle. There we go. Easier than the last time. Well, I got a little bit of rubbing here when I climbed this berm here. Barely rubbing the front bumper right there. I had already cut this part off to prevent rubbing, but since these tires are slightly larger than the KM3s that I had, or they have more tread, I mean, it's very minimal. But I did notice that when I climbed over this berm here. Got it flexed pretty good. And I went through this area just a few months ago when we took the Jeep Grand Cherokee out here. And I didn't get this section from the outside. This is where my dad drove through. I was pretty impressed he drove through this. This is pretty gnarly in here. test of the rock rails. Point turn. Now this is where I had quite a bit of trouble last time. We had to stack rocks. Wonder how she'll do this time. Turn the parking sensors off. Can't see shit. Need to reevaluate because I can't see anything. All right, that's a good line as long as I don't forget to run into that. Okay. The problem with the Power Wagon, it's so big, when I'm in the driver's seat, I can't look out and see where the tires are, which I could do on a Jeep because there's not all that overhang. One thing's for sure, these tires are going to get a workout. 18-degree incline, my seatbelt will not come out. It was at this point I realized I was in over my head and just needed to back down. Nah, there's no way. I'm about to dig in on the bed back there. It's getting really off camber, 24 degrees. And right there. That sidewall's sure being tested. But even backing down here would not be without consequences. Once I backed all the way down, I took the easier line up
which requires you to ride as far to the left as possible. But even then, it is not exactly a cakewalk, especially with a vehicle as large as the Ram Power Wagon.
If you're thinking about getting a set of BFGoodrich HD terrain tires, I highly recommend it. These things have really impressed me today. The most impressive thing is when I was on the rock ledge and that tire was just, its entire sidewall was pressed up against a heavy rock and it was turning, it was spinning, and afterwards there's hardly even a scuff on it. Like, I mean, I have to wait till I totally clean the tire. I went through mud after that, but amazing tire, amazing grip. I think they have more grip than the KM3 mud terrains on the rocks, like in terms of rock crawling. The big beefy lugs on these are huge. They're bigger than the lugs on the mud terrain. And you get a little bit of siping. It's not quite, I mean, it's pretty much a mud terrain in terms of noise, but these mud terrains are not very loud compared to what they can be. And they got very good road manners, and they're supposed to last a long time. Like, they have a very high mileage warranty. If I got 50,000 out of my KM3s with proper rotation, these things should at least go 70,000, I would hope, or at least 60, and still be, you know, when I still had tread left on my KM3s at 50,000, so probably could have got squeezed another 10,000, 15,000 out of them. But yeah, these HD terrains are awesome. They're every bit off-road worthy, and I think they are really built and fit to be on a heavy-duty truck. Ram Power Wagon's a perfect example. Although I think it'd be fine on any heavy-duty 2500, 3500 truck. I mean, they designed it with the workforce in mind, with mining operations in mind. But at the same time, I think these might be good on say, a Jeep Wrangler, Gladiator, or 4Runner, maybe even Tacoma. Just if you've got a heavy setup, if you plan to use your vehicle for overlanding, loading it up with hundreds of pounds of gear, maybe thousands, I think these tires would be the way to go. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave us a comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone.